Eyewitness Weather forecast.
And a pleasant Monday evening to everybody. I'm meteorologist Jordan Reed, tracking a few chances for showers and storms both tomorrow and on Thursday before we have a beautiful day for 4th of July on Friday. Right now we do have pretty nice conditions out there in downtown Utica, 86 degrees under plenty of sunshine. However, that dew point is right at 68 and that's making it feel like 89. So tack on a couple of degrees to that temperature and that's what it feels like out there right now, thanks to a south-southwesterly wind at around 6 miles an hour. And the radar for most of us is quiet, but off toward the west we are starting to see some showers and maybe even a few rumbles of thunder enter areas west of Syracuse, closer toward Rochester at this time. And that's because initially we've got a warm front heading our way. That'll be through here tomorrow morning, and then this cold front that's back through Michigan, areas around Chicago as well, will be with us for tomorrow afternoon and maybe for the first part of the evening as well. Temperatures across the region, just depending on where you are. We've got Connecticut in the 80s, same thing through the mid-Hudson Valley. We've got 86 here in downtown Utica, as I mentioned, same thing in Syracuse, but temperatures are cooler off toward the west. Toronto's at 70 and Buffalo is at 73, and then we've got temperatures down in the 70s and 80s in Pennsylvania right now. And for here closer to home, we've got temperatures into the lower and middle 80s, thanks to that south-southwesterly breeze that's out there right now. And that'll prevent temperatures from dropping much from where they are right now during the overnight hours. As I mentioned, with those dew points, it feels a couple of degrees to maybe even 5 to 10 degrees warmer, just depending on where you are, like Camden at 82, downtown Utica 89. Dodgeville feels like 96 out there right now. And again, temperatures not dropping much because of the southerly breeze. At least that makes it feel a little bit nicer out there if you can get into that breeze, like areas down toward the south where we've got winds anywhere from about 5 to 10 miles an hour right now. Areas up toward the north, though, are seeing some calmer winds, and that's going to be the case during the overnight hours. Initially, we'll see the winds out of the south and southwest at around 5 to 10 miles an hour, but a couple of exceptions to that, especially if you see any downpours out there. And then tomorrow, as we head through the day, behind that cold front especially, we'll start to see the numbers dropping, as well as the winds out of the west-northwest, and that'll bring in some cooler air as we head through Wednesday. Tomorrow we'll see, at least drier air I should say. Tomorrow we'll see some showers and storms. The best chance comes between noon and 5 p.m. with the passage of that cold front. The heaviest down toward the south and east, and that's where you have a marginal risk for severe weather. I think the main threats being some thunder and lightning, some heavier rain, maybe a little bit of small hail, as well as some gusty winds. Those dew points are also going to remain low Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and then we'll see them come up again over the weekend. Same thing for the chances for showers and storms. But right now, it looks like 4th of July on Friday is looking pretty good. Absolutely beautiful, although it's a little bit cool. Looks like our coolest day of the next 7 with temperatures between 75 and 80. But unfortunately, it looks like the streak of rainy weekends, I should say, is going to continue.
Well, it's continuing just for us. Did I hear that right? Because a few other of our stations have reported that they actually broke their streaks.
Yeah, you're right about that one. So at the airport sites, at least, Albany, Syracuse, and Burlington, Vermont, to my knowledge, there were a few others that ended their streaks, and those went back for about 7.5 months. Unfortunately, we had just over 1/10 of an inch of rain on Saturday here in Utica to keep the streak going.
Just another little bit of an inch to keep the streak going from November. It's been that long with not a single weekend without rain. Oh well. You're watching Eyewitness News at 6. We'll be right back with more after the break.
Now, your Eyewitness Weather forecast.
And a good Monday evening to everybody. I'm meteorologist Jordan Reed. You just missed it, but right before we came back from break, we had some pretty good lightning in downtown Utica, and I think that's going to be the case as we head through the overnight hours and maybe possibly again during the day tomorrow. So we've got some clouds, some showers, even a couple of lightning strikes out there right now. 79 degrees, that dew point is 70, so these storms, there we go again. These storms have lots of moisture to work with, and that means that the main threat is going to be some of those heavier downpours, the winds out of the east at 5 miles an hour. But because that dew point is 70 degrees, that's making it feel like 82, even as of the 10 o'clock hour. So we've got a lot of heavy rain moving in over the next hour or two. Some lightning strikes, as you can see on the most recent frame. It's just to the west of downtown Utica, although we've seen some closer than that, as you just saw a second ago. And the yellows, oranges, and reds indicating some of that moderate to heavier rainfall. That's a sign of that warm front moving in. So even though temperatures will come down a few more degrees during during the overnight hours. The dew points won't. They may even come up a few more degrees. So we'll see a lot of clouds, some showers, maybe even some patchy fog. And then the warm front will be with us through tomorrow morning. And then during the early part of the afternoon tomorrow, this cold front will move through, and that'll switch the winds over to the west, and that means we'll have a more pleasant Tuesday evening and especially day on Wednesday ahead of us. So temperatures right now, again, still fairly warm from Utica down toward Albany and Poughkeepsie, where it's 81 in both places. Downtown Utica 79, New York City at 80, but it's slightly cool off toward the west right now. Toronto's at 70, and then Buffalo's at 63, but because the warm front is moving in, we won't be able to tap into some of that slightly cooler air. Temperatures right now with the southerly flow are into the middle and upper 70s for most of us. Hamilton's at 70, Syracuse at 75, downtown Utica 79, and in Old Forge it's 72. Unfortunately, because of the humidity, though, it does feel warmer than that. Still feels like 82 downtown Utica, so it's just going to be a rather muggy night out there with the combination of the clouds, the showers, and the southerly wind, which it really isn't doing much. It's mainly calm most areas to the north and east. We've got 5 to 10 mile an hour winds down toward the south and west, but even with that, the air is going to be rather stagnant out there, and that's going to be the case during the overnight hours. The winds may calm down briefly during the overnight, but then we'll see winds out of the east, and eventually tomorrow they'll shift over to the west once that cold front moves through, and there could be some higher gusts on any storms that do develop out there. So again, showers and storms will be with us during the overnight hours and through the first part of tomorrow, and then we'll briefly get a break until that cold front moves through between about noon and 5 p.m., and that's when we have the best chance of seeing some showers and storms that could be on the heavier side, where you do have a marginal risk for severe weather, and that will bring down the dew points briefly, but then they'll come back up as we head toward the weekend. Wednesday, though, looking pleasant. Less humid, even though temperatures will be similar to where they are tomorrow, 80 to 85 both days. Thursday, we've got another front moving through, and that means we could see some showers and thunderstorms then. But the good news is that Friday and Saturday, at least right now, upper 70s to lower 80s, but looking good for the 4th and 5th of July at this point.
You know, Jordan, I was able to keep my eye on the iNet camera for a little bit, and I saw a few of the strikes out in West Utica, getting a little bit closer to downtown. So if you're outside, get inside.
Yeah, absolutely. When thunder roars, go indoors. So definitely take that advice right now.
All right, big news in the world of professional women's sports. Let's go.
Now, your eyewitness weather forecast.
And a pleasant Monday evening to everybody. I'm meteorologist Jordan Reed, tracking some showers as well as a lot of clouds and muggy conditions during the overnight hours, and that's going to be the case for at least our Tuesday morning as well. Right now, the showers are a little bit less intense than they were last hour. Downtown Utica, 73 degrees with a lot of clouds. The showers still continuing. That dew point is still rather high, 69 degrees, and that's making it still feel like 73, but it's going to make it feel rather muggy during the overnight hours, even if it's not adding much of a heat index out there right now. The worst of this thunder shower that's over portions of Lewis, northeastern Oneida, northern Herkimer County moved up toward the north and east. It was closer toward the Utica-Rome area last hour, but nonetheless, we're still dealing with some residual showers across most of the Mohawk Valley, and if you look toward the west of Syracuse, there's more where that came from as well. You might find another lightning strike or two, but most of that, as I mentioned, has moved up toward the north and east. That's thanks to a warm front that is still down toward our south and west, toward the Twin Tiers, southern tiers right now. And temperatures won't drop back much because of it, because of a southerly flow. In fact, it'll make it even more humid during the overnight hours before we see that cold front off to the west move through tomorrow afternoon. So temperatures right now, 73 in downtown Utica, 75 in Syracuse, and 70s across most of the region right now. Albany still at 82, Poughkeepsie at 80, and Lake Placid at 77, just to give you an idea of some of the other numbers across the region. Here closer to home, we're all in the 70s thanks to that southerly flow, and the air is rather stagnant because of that southerly flow. So temperatures or heat index values maybe a degree or two warmer than being advertised right now. And we also have that southerly flow that you can see here isn't really doing much, only at about 5 miles an hour at best for most of us. Up toward the north, it's been fairly calm today, so as I mentioned, the air is going to remain rather stagnant during the overnight hours thanks to that southerly, if not west-southwesterly flow continuing. And then as we head through the day tomorrow, the winds will pick up, especially if you got any thunderstorms out there, but they will shift around over toward the west, so that means we'll see some cooler air as we head through Wednesday. We have to get through this warm front first, and then we'll deal with the cold front heading our way tomorrow afternoon. after we get through a lot of clouds tomorrow morning, and then that break, and then that cold front could trigger some showers and thunderstorms that could be strong to severe. Otherwise, we'll see some heavy rain toward the south and east, and that marginal risk for severe weather down toward the south and east as well. So dew points behind that cold front will come down Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, which is looking like the coolest day of the week, although we will have plenty of sunshine for the 4th of July, but they will come back up over the weekend. Temperatures rather similar to tomorrow as they will be on Wednesday, but Wednesday feeling a lot less humid out there with a mix of sun and clouds and remaining dry, but that changes as we head through Thursday, upper 70s to lower 80s with some with the cold front moving through. And then Friday for the 4th of July looks absolutely beautiful right now, just a little bit on the cool side.
And Jordan, we are getting some reports at this hour from Oneida County Emergency Services that storm did cause a little bit of damage in Westmoreland. We've got reports of trees and power lines down in the area of Sheverstein Road and Route